Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me here today. This is Bora Bliss. Albert Einstein once said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant." I love this quote because it perfectly sums up our discussion for today. You see, we have been blessed with this wonderful body of ours, which contains our five senses, through which we are able to navigate the physical plane. But we now live in a time when we can no longer completely rely on our five physical senses. Our five senses are great and they assist us in our everyday life. But the issue is that we have over relied on them. There is a limit to which our five senses can perform because they're only limited to physical things. But as you all know, man is more than just a body. Man is also spirit. And the issue points to the fact that we seem to have largely forgotten this and have allowed our spirit senses to be greatly dulled and severely diminished. As a result, most of us navigate the spirit world like blind, deaf, and disabled beings. Most of us are, in fact, dead to the spirit world. So, what happens? We just drift through the spirit world, and that affects also the way we navigate through the physical plane as well, because they all interact and they're codependent on one another. Some people don't even believe in the spirit world, or even if they believe, they're very passive about the things of the spirit. And in my own personal opinion, this is a very sad state of affair and must be addressed if we are going to survive what is happening in the world and what will continue to unfold on the earth. The earth as we know it, or as many of us know, is going through major upheavals and turmoil. There's a lot of pain and it's going through a lot of restlessness. We can feel it everywhere. The earth is groaning and it's in the process of birthing something new. And it's also in the process of purging itself out of anything that is not working for the good of the earth. But with the burden of something new, sometimes unfortunately something else needs to die or be removed for new life to spring forth. Um, and like I mentioned in my previous video titled Saving the Earth, I mentioned that we have been defiling and desecrating the earth both on a physical and spiritual level for a very, very long time. And the earth will need to eventually clean house and reset itself. I also mentioned that entire civilizations have been wiped out in the past. And I mean, today we can't find them. We can only find like little fragments and traces um, of their history, of them, but they're no more. And the chances are very high that it may happen again. The earth and all of humanity is at the door of major and frightening changes and shifts. And some of these shifts and changes, we're already experiencing some of them. But unfortunately, the worst is yet to come. I'm not saying this to incite fear in you. I'm not a fearmonger. But I want you to consider the issue at hand and hopefully begin to find a solution. For the longest time, we have considered most of what our five senses, what they feel, they see, taste, smell, and hear as truth. We have exalted these things as truth. And we have been successful for the longest I mean, we have been quite successful. I think we've done quite well just relying on our five senses for a very, very long time. But we have come to an era of so much, I mean, so much uncertainty, so much lies. The lies, I can't even begin to explain or describe how much lies we have to deal with on a daily basis. Like we're being bombarded left, right, and center with lies. So much deception. The deception is flying off the roof. So much confusion. Nobody knows what to do. Like, should I go here? Should I go there? Should I go to my right? Should I go to my left? The confusion is it's crazy, and sometimes it is crushing. Okay, the confusion is crushing. We live in an era where it's almost impossible to tell the truth from the lie because they both look the same and they pass the same physical truth screening test, which we have been relying on for so long. Um, just saying this, I can just think about an image where we have two people who look exactly the same, but one is definitely not that person. And now the real has to kind of like the real person has to like kind of like defend himself like, oh no, I'm the real person. And then the one who is trying to deceive you is also saying, I'm the real person. Now your eyes are like, okay, I'm seeing the same people. Who do I believe? Who is the real person here? I think something like that happened in the Chronicles of what's it called? Spiderwick Chronicles. I think that's what it's called. The one that Roku put out. I mean, I really liked that show. It was very interesting. And we had this what's it called? This place in the movie. I think that was the last episode where Morgrath had changed into the boy, and now we had two of the boy, and Morgrath was telling everybody now he's the boy. He looks like the boy, and the boy's like, "Oh, I'm the real one," and Morgrath is also saying, "I'm the real one," and everybody was confused. Like, okay, who do we believe now? But unfortunately, they believed Morgrath, and the real boy was banished into the land of the is it the fairies or whatever. But anyway, so that's what comes to my mind when I think about this. And I mean, we can see that happening every day. So basically, we live in an era where it's almost impossible to tell the truth from the lie because they both look the same. I know, just like I said, they both pass the same physical truth screening test, which we have been relying on for all of this time. Our old ways and methods of picking or separating the truth from the lie is no longer very effective. It might be effective in some things, but not in others. In fact, it is outdated. It is outdated and it needs to be replaced. So something definitely needs to be done. We can't continue going about our lives and relying on just our five physical senses. We need something else to guide us through this whole maze of lies and deceit. So going forward, have you taken the time to look at the news lately? And do you hear conflicting reports about the same issue? This person is saying this thing, this other person is saying this thing, and you're like, okay, who's telling the truth? How do I come to know who's telling the truth? This whole phenomenon really took off during the pandemic. I'm sure it's been going on for a very long time, but it kind of like went to a whole new different level. Like it just went to a level we've never really seen before during the pandemic, where the masses were bombarded by all manner of news, advice, warnings, recommendations. It was crazy. There was conflicting reports for or against what was really happening. It was frightening. We didn't know what to believe. Like, okay, who do I believe? Who is telling the truth? It was so intense to the point that people lost family members and friends. People did not know the truth. They could not discern the truth, could not see beyond the lies and the masking of the truth. Because, I mean, the truth was it was maxed up. Like it was padded. Like it was hard to really see what was going on. And it's still happening even up to now. And also another thing I've discovered is that we have, as a population, as a people, we have been conditioned to accept everything that the journalists or news agencies throw at us as truth. We have been primed for this. And I mean, in a way, the journalists and the news agencies, I mean, I kind of like look at them as the watchmen on the wall, because kind of like they have their microscope, or should I call it a microscope or whatever? Um, they have their seeing devices or whatever, and they're able to see things and investigate, go deeper, and then they come up with the results or the report. Oh, this is what we've seen, or they're able to blast off whatever they've heard or whatever they've investigated as the truth or the lie, whatever it is, and they're able to like just blast it off to everybody. And we hold them at a very high place, a high level of standard, and because we believe that everything they tell us is truth. Okay. um but what happens, we rely on them too much, and then we throw out our own inner guidance and compass to lead us to the truth, because we have over relied on them. We've given our power over to them, to lead us to the truth. And as a result, during the time of testing, I believe we came to a time of testing, and we're still being tested even up to now. Because of that, we got swept away with the lies and got hurt in the process. And even till now, people are still getting hurt. Some people lost their lives. May they rest in peace. Some people lost their relationships, brothers and sisters torn apart, husband and wives torn apart, parents and children torn apart, friends torn apart. I mean, relationships were destroyed. And some people lost their mind. They went crazy. They lost their sanity, they lost their peace. All of these because they could not tell the truth from the lie. Or because they could not go past their physical senses to discern the truth. Currently, we see the same game playing out again with the whole hurricane situation. The news organizations and government agencies are saying one thing, while the private citizens are reporting something else. So now, who do we believe? Our eyes can see both arguments, and they both make sense. Okay? The governmental agencies, the news agencies, they say one thing, and like, oh yeah, they provide proof, and you're like, okay, this is exactly what's going on. And then the private citizens are also reporting, and you're like, okay, I see this, I see proof, I see evidence. Okay, this is what is going on. But now the reports are conflicting. Who do we believe? Who do we believe? Who is telling the truth? Who's telling the lie? So if we had only our physical eyes and our physical senses to rely on, my dear, we're doomed. Like, we're done for. I mean, all of humanity will be roasted. But the good news is that we have another sense, the sixth sense that we have long forgotten. It's the inner compass and guide that every human being can access at all times. But you can only access this part of you by tuning into the spirit, tuning into the God in you, and connecting with the source of your life and the source of everything. In the realm of the spirit, everything is open. There are no secrets, and you can access whatever information you need at any given time. As the days get darker, and I mean dark, they'll get really dark. More psychological warfare and mental manipulation will go on full blast. I'm not saying psychological warfare is not happening right now. It's happening. I'm not saying mental manipulation right now is not going on. It's going on. But it will go on even a higher level, on a greater scale. And some people who survived the last time might not be able to survive it going forward if you're not prepared for what is going on. If you're not prepared, you need to be prepared. And even technology will be used. We're already seeing this with the use of artificial intelligence. And these things will wreak havoc on our minds because this is not something we're used to. This is not how we've operated in the past. We're like in a new era right now. And our physical senses will not, there's an extent to which it will go. We need something more right now. We even see this with the use of deep fakes. You can imagine seeing yourself and you're like, wow, that looks like me, but it's not you. That's enough to just make your mind just go cuckoo. I'm telling you, like you just lose it. You're like, wow, I didn't do that. But you're seeing yourself doing it. You go crazy. And then what about the use of holograms? Holograms it will be weaponized against the masses, and it will mess up with our minds. And anyone who is only dependent on their physical eyes, I'm sorry, you're gone. You'll be roasted. Okay? Anyone who only relies on their physical senses will be roasted. You'll be gone. You'll just be food for somebody else or something else, whatever it is. The chances that you'll survive will be very slim. You'll become an easy target, and you'll be easily deceived into making the wrong decisions, which has the propensity to wipe you and your entire family out. Hear that again. You're going to be making decisions that have the capacity to not only take you out, but also your entire family. Because you're relying only on your physical senses, only on your eyes, only what you see, only what you hear. And you're not able to go in deeper to get the truth for yourself. For those of you who already have a heightened sense of consciousness and can discern the truth from the lies, you're golden. And when I say golden, I don't mean you're infallible or infallible. You still have to dig deeper to stay in the truth, because you can fall at any time. With each and every given step you make, you always go back and consult with the spirit within. Am I going the right way? You never say, oh, I've arrived. Because once you get to that point, the chances are that very soon you're going to fall. Like there's this passage in the Bible where it says pride goes before a fall. So you never ever allow pride gets into your head. You always stay and walk in humility. And that's where truth thrives. Truth walks with humility. So we always need to watch out for pride. And for most of us who are still struggling in the area of connecting with our spirit within, or with the spirit within, because the spirit is always there. God is always with us. For those of us who are still struggling in that area, we can start now. Now, before it gets worse. To start cultivating our relationship with God and begin to exercise these spiritual muscles which we have been given, and they've been lying dormant for a very long time. We need our sixth sense to come alive and to guide us through this maze of lies and deceit. This great disease, I call it a disease, which is currently plaguing our whole world. Why do I call it a disease? Because it paralyzes us and it stops us from knowing the truth. The lie is a terrible thing, and it's been ramped up to just mess us up, to lead us astray. And what will happen? You become a slave. Without the truth in hand to guide you, you become a slave. And eventually you'll be destroyed. And just like the Bible also said, they said that the truth will set you free. It's only the truth that has the power to set you free. As long as you keep believing lies and walking in lies, you'll always be in bondage. Basically, you're just like a walking dead. Today, it's so bad up to the point that a lot of us are eating even dead food. Our food is dead and we put it inside of us without even realizing it. Even the insects and the animals will not touch it. They will not touch it. But here we are, so disconnected from spirit, so disconnected from God. And we just rely on what we see. They tell us, oh, this is food, and you just go ahead and you just gobble it up. And you don't even know that what you're eating is dead. No life whatsoever. And you just take it in. We don't know what is true, we don't know what is a lie. And we just become easy prey for those who are trying to do us harm. Let's remember the quote from Albert Einstein: who does not diminish or cast away the rational mind. We need a rational mind. Very important. But we are encouraged to go deeper and uphold the sacredness of our intuitive inner guide. Once again, thank you for joining me here today. I hope this presentation sparks more conversations about the need to know the truth, which will help us in the fight to save humanity and the earth at large. Because we must be fully connected to the source of life to save humanity and all of nature. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Stay safe, stay strong, and God bless. Peace.